The Hollow That Remembers. People who grow up in the mountains learn early that there are places you don't linger. Not because anyone tells you outright, it's just understood, passed along in glances, pauses, and the way conversations change direction. The hollow behind my grandmother's house was one of those places. It didn't have a name on any map, no signposts, just a narrow dirt track that dipped off the country road and disappeared between two tree-covered slopes. From above, it looked like nothing at all, just another fold in the Appalachian spine. But from inside it, things felt different. I hadn't thought about the hollow in nearly 20 years when my grandmother died and left me the house. I hadn't planned to move back. I lived 3 states away, worked a job that barely paid the rent, and had convinced myself I'd outgrown the place. But houses like hers don't sell quickly, and someone had to go through it, clear it out, and decide what to do. So I drove back to West Virginia in early October when the leaves were just starting to turn and the air carried that faint smell of wood smoke and damp earth. The house sat exactly as I remembered. White paint gone chalky, porch sagging slightly in the middle, a rusted wind chime tapping softly in the breeze. It looked smaller than it had when I was a child, but the mountains behind it looked just as tall. The hollow lay beyond them, unseen but present. The first night I stayed in the house, I slept poorly. Not because I was afraid, just unsettled. The floors popped as they cooled, and the wind moved through the trees with a low, breathy sound that felt almost deliberate. Sometime after midnight, I woke up convinced I heard someone walking outside. I lay still, listening. There were no footsteps, just the wind and something else. A sound I couldn't quite place. Low, rhythmic, almost like breathing, but slower. It stopped when I sat up. I told myself it was the house settling. Old places make old noises. Still, I locked the bedroom door before going back to sleep. In the morning, I found my grandmother's journals in a box beneath the dining room table. She'd been meticulous. Dates, weather, small notes about neighbors, garden yields, aches in her knees, normal things. But every so often, there were entries that didn't fit. October 12th, heard it again last night, from the hollow. November 3rd, dreamt I was standing in the trees and they were watching me breathe. March 17th, something moved where it shouldn't have. I did not go down there. There was no explanation, no follow-up. Just those occasional, unsettling lines threaded through years of otherwise ordinary life. I asked my neighbor Earl about it when he stopped by later that afternoon. Earl had lived on the same stretch of road his entire life. He leaned on his truck door while I showed him the journal. "That hollow?" he said, barely glancing at the page. "Best not to worry yourself over it." That was the closest thing to an answer I got. When I pressed him, he shrugged. "Land remembers things," he said. "Mountains especially." Then he changed the subject. Over the next few days, I worked my way through the house, sorting, packing, throwing away things that had no one left to remember them. At night, I heard the sound again. Always after midnight. Always from the same direction. Low, slow, steady. Like something large breathing in the dark. I tried recording it on my phone, but the audio came back empty. Just faint static and the hum of the house. On the 4th night, I dreamed of the hollow. I was standing at its edge, looking down into the trees. Fog hung low between the trunks, thick and unmoving. Somewhere below, something exhaled. When I woke up, my feet were dirty. Not muddy, just dusted with fine gray soil. I slept in my boots after that. I finally went down into the hollow on a cold, overcast afternoon. I told myself it was for closure, curiosity, something rational. The dirt track was narrower than I remembered, choked with fallen leaves and briars. The trees leaned inward, blocking out most of the sky. As I descended, the temperature dropped noticeably, and the air grew damp. Sound changed too. Bird song faded, wind dulled. Even my footsteps felt muffled, as though the ground were absorbing them. About halfway down, I noticed something strange. The trees. They weren't all the same age, which was normal, but they were arranged oddly, in rough, uneven rings. Not planted, just grown that way. At the center of the lowest ring was a clearing. The soil there was bare, no grass, no leaves, just packed earth, gray and smooth, as though it had been brushed clean. I stood at the edge of it, heart thudding in my ears. The air felt thick, pressurized. Then I heard it, not from all around, just beneath my feet. A long, slow exhale. I backed away and left the hollow without running, but only because my legs felt weak and unreliable. That night, the breathing was louder, closer. The dreams intensified. I dreamed of standing underground, pressed into a space just large enough to kneel. The walls were soil and roots, and they pulsed faintly, expanding and contracting. Breathing. Sometimes I dreamed I was not alone, that something else was there with me, breathing in time. I started to lose track of hours. I'd find myself standing at the back door, hand on the knob, unsure how long I'd been there. Once I caught myself whispering. I don't know what I was saying. I found more journals in the attic, earlier ones, my grandmother's mother's handwriting. The entries were sparse, careful, afraid. We do not build there. We do not dig. It keeps what it is given. One page had been torn out. Another was stained dark with something that might have been ink or something else. At the back of the journal, written shakily, it learned us. The next morning, Earl's truck was parked crooked in my driveway. He looked pale, shaken. "You've been down there," he said, not asking. I nodded. He sighed, rubbing his face. "People used to disappear," he said. "Not often. Just enough." I asked him why no one ever talked about it. "Because it doesn't take what ain't offered," he said, "and talking is a kind of offering." That night, the breathing came from inside the house, beneath the floorboards. The basement door stood open when I woke up. I had locked it. The smell drifted up first. Damp earth, old leaves, something mineral and cold. The stairs creaked under my weight as I descended. The single bulb flickered weakly, casting long shadows over the dirt floor. In the center of the basement, the ground had cracked. A narrow fissure ran lengthwise across the soil, edges crumbling inward as though something beneath it were slowly pushing up. The breathing was unmistakable now. Steady, patient, waiting. I understood then, not with my mind, but with something deeper, that the hollow was not a place. It was a body, and it was waking up. I don't remember leaving the house. I remember standing at the edge of the clearing again, fog curling around my ankles, the trees leaning closer. The ground beneath the bare earth rose and fell. A breath. The soil split open just enough for me to see darkness below. Vast, layered, lined with roots and stone, and something that pulsed faintly with awareness. Not eyes, not a mouth. Something older. Something that remembered. I felt the pull then, not physical, emotional, a sense of recognition, of being known. I don't know how long I stood there. Long enough for the fog to thicken. Long enough for my heartbeat to slow, syncing with the hollow's rhythm. Breathing together. I think it would have taken me if Earl hadn't shouted my name. The sound broke something loose. I stumbled backward, tripped over a root, and rolled down the slope, hard enough to knock the wind out of me. When I looked back, the clearing was gone. Just trees, leaves, and silence. I left the next day. Didn't pack, didn't lock up, just drove. The house remains empty. No one's bought it. No one wants it. Sometimes, late at night, I wake up certain I hear breathing. Slow, familiar, and when I check the soles of my feet in the morning, they're dusted gray. Some stories don't ask to be remembered. They wait. If you're still here, it's already too late. This has been Diamonds After Dark. See you next time.